Welcome to The Explainer, and a big thank you right up front to the Other Way Marshall Consulting for sponsoring this video. Today, we're going to tackle a really radical idea, one that changes how we think about mastering just about any skill.
So let me ask you this. Why would memorizing more moves actually make you less safe? I mean, it sounds completely backward, right? It goes against everything we've ever been told about practice and getting better at something. But, the answer to this question gets at something really, really important about how our brains work, especially when things get real. Okay, so first up, let's talk about what the source material here calls the dictionary approach. And that's actually a perfect way to think about it. Imagine you want to learn Spanish. Would you just memorize the dictionary? No way. You'd know a ton of words, sure, but could you actually speak? Could you have a conversation? Probably not. Well, it turns out that just collecting more and more techniques is a lot like that, and it has a pretty serious downside. And here's the hard truth. When you're under real stress, when the adrenaline is pumping, your brain can't just casually flip through that huge mental library of moves you've memorized. It's like trying to find one specific book in a library while the building is shaking apart. It creates this cognitive bottleneck, and the system you spent all this time building, it just completely fails you right when you need it most.
So this really brings us to the two different ways of learning. You've got the dictionary on one side, that's just memorizing a list of moves, the words. But on the other side, you've got the grammar. This isn't about memorizing moves, it's about understanding the rules of the language, the principles. And when you know the grammar, you don't need a script. You can create your own sentences, your own solutions, in real time. It's the huge difference between a tourist fumbling with a phrasebook and someone who can actually speak the language.
And that brings us to the central idea, the big metaphor that really makes this whole thing click. We're talking about the paradigm shift from being a technician to becoming an engineer. Just look at the difference in mindset when the pressure is on. The technician is high risk. Why? Because they're relying on rote memory. They've practiced for a very specific situation. If anything changes, even a little bit, they freeze. Their whole system is fragile. But the engineer? They're adaptive. They're not trying to remember a specific move. They're operating from universal principles, so they can come up with solutions on the fly, no matter what's happening. Their knowledge is flexible, it's robust. Yeah, this quote just perfectly captures the technician's trap. You can almost hear the frantic internal monologue. If he grabs my wrist, wait, which side? Is it the right hand on the left wrist, or... And in that tiny moment of hesitation, that split second, where your brain is scrambling to find the right file in its cabinet, that's it. It's over. That's the failure point. Now let's compare that panic to the engineer's mindset. It's so different. It's calm, almost like a doctor diagnosing a problem. The thought isn't, what move do I do? The thought is, he has compromised my structure, I must restore it. See the difference? They're not looking for a technique. They're focused on a universal principle. And that one simple idea, restore my structure, can be the answer to 1,000 different kinds of attacks.
Okay, so what are these principles of force? What are these universal laws that the engineer is using? Let's break down a couple of them. These are really powerful.
All right, principle number 1, structure. This is huge. The law is super simple. Your skeleton, when it's aligned properly, is way, way stronger than just your muscles. It's about using the design of your own body to your advantage. And here's the cheat code for it. Stop trying to use your biceps for everything. Start using your bones. The moment you make that mental shift from tensing your muscles to just lining up your skeleton, you unlock this incredible strength and stability. And the best part? It takes almost zero effort, no fatigue. Okay, principle number 2, gravity. This one is always on, right? It never takes a day off. And the law here that your own body weight, just falling, is so much faster and heavier than any amount of muscle you can use to push something. It's an incredible source of power if you know how to use it. And again, here's the cheat code. Just let your weight do the work. It's about working with the laws of nature, not struggling against them. When you learn to do this, you're plugging into a power source that's always there, and it's completely effortless. So think about this. 1,000. That's the multiplier effect we're talking about. One technique might solve one specific problem, but one single principle, that works for 1,000 different situations. Suddenly, a push, a grab, a tackle, they're not 1,000 different problems anymore. They're all just variations of the same core issue, like a compromise of your structure. Now, this isn't just some cool theory. You can actually learn how to install this new operating system. To learn the full 12 principle system, our sponsor, The Other Way Marshall Consulting, has a fantastic mentorship program. It's got 10 weeks of virtual classes and then 2 days of live in-person training. We've got the link for you down in the description if you want to check that out.
But you know, this is way bigger than just self-defense. This engineer's mindset is basically an operating system for reality. You can apply it to just about any high-stress situation you can think of, not just in the dojo.
Let's bring this into daily life for a second. Think about business. The technician is the salesperson who memorized a script. The moment the customer says something unexpected, they're lost. The engineer, though, they understand the principle of redirection of momentum, so they can handle any objection that comes their way. Or think about driving in traffic. You don't memorize the location of every single pothole on the road, do you? No, you apply a principle of dynamic response to whatever the road throws at you. So if you're finding this paradigm shift as fascinating as I am, hey, do us a favor and take a second to like this video, and definitely subscribe for more explainers like this one. And I'm really curious, drop a comment below and let us know where you could use this engineer's mindset in your own life. All right, this brings us to what might be the most important point of all, the ultimate takeaway. It's the difference between something that lasts and something that fades away. And you know, this idea is definitely not new. Ralph Waldo Emerson said it beautifully. As to methods, there may be a million, but principles are few. He understood that the person who gets the principles can figure out their own methods, but the person who just chases methods and ignores the principles, well, they're going to have a bad time. So true. So when you think about your own learning, what's your long-term investment? Are you putting your time into techniques? Because those are perishable. They fade. If you don't practice them constantly, they're gone. But principles are permanent. Once you really truly get something like structure or gravity, it's with you forever. You can't unlearn it. It's baked into your understanding. So that's the final question we want to leave you with. Are you training to be a technician, just collecting a bunch of temporary methods? Or are you training to be an engineer, building a permanent understanding that will never fail you? Something to think about. And a final, sincere thank you from The Other Way Marshall Consulting for watching.